Dominoes falling flat, a theory topped with good intentions. The domino theory. Sounds fun, right? Like a game involving giant dominoes, maybe with clowns. Imagine the laughter, the excitement, the sheer joy of watching those giant pieces tumble one after another. Sadly, no. It's actually a political theory, a theory that was far from fun and games, and had serious implications for global politics. And like a bad pizza delivery experience, it didn't quite pan out. The theory promised a lot, but delivered very little, leaving many disappointed. The domino theory basically said that if one country fell to communism, its neighbors would follow, like dominoes toppling over. It painted a picture of an unstoppable chain reaction. This idea had a big impact on US foreign policy, especially during the Cold War. It influenced decisions, strategies, and actions taken by the government. The theory was like a bad order of breadsticks, overly simplistic and ultimately unsatisfying. It didn't take into account the complexities of each situation. It assumed all countries were the same, like they were all ordering the same plain pizza with no toppings. A one-size-fits-all approach that didn't work. But each nation has its own unique situation, its own flavors and complexities. Just like people have different tastes in pizza, countries have different political landscapes. The domino theory failed to see this. It overlooked the individuality of each nation, leading to flawed policies and strategies. Uncle Sam's Pizzeria delivering democracy, or trying to. Imagine the US as a giant pizza place called Uncle Sam's Pizzeria. Their specialty, democracy. And they were convinced everyone wanted a slice. So, fueled by the domino theory, they started delivering. Vietnam, have some democracy. Korea, we got you covered. The US believed that by intervening in these countries, they could stop the spread of communism. But there was a problem. This wasn't some delicious deep dish they were handing out. Many countries weren't interested in the US brand of democracy. They had their own ideas about government, their own recipes for success. The US failed to realize that forcing a pizza onto someone who ordered a salad wasn't exactly a recipe for satisfaction. Extra toppings, unexpected outcomes, why the domino theory didn't deliver. The domino theory, with its one-size-fits-all approach, failed to consider the complex realities of individual nations. It ignored the diverse cultures, histories, and political landscapes that shape these countries. It was like assuming everyone loves extra anchovies on their pizza. The theory also underestimated the power of nationalism and self-determination. People wanted to decide their own futures, to choose their own toppings, so to speak. They weren't just going to blindly follow their neighbors. The domino theory, with its simplistic approach, failed to grasp these nuances. Pineapple on a pizza? It's a debate that has divided pizza lovers for decades. Some people love the sweet and savory combination, while others think it's an abomination. The domino theory's biggest mishaps. This theory, much like the pineapple on pizza debate, has had its fair share of controversies and unexpected outcomes. Remember that time you ordered a pepperoni pizza and it arrived with pineapple? It was a mix-up that left you scratching your head, much like some of the historical events influenced by the domino theory. Yeah, the domino theory had a few of those moments. It was a strategy based on the idea that if one country fell to communism, its neighbors would follow, like a row of dominoes. One of the biggest mishaps was the Vietnam War. The US intervened, fearing a communist domino effect. The US intervened, fearing a communist domino effect. But the war turned into a quagmire, a costly and prolonged conflict with no clear victory in sight. But the war turned into a quagmire. It was like ordering a small pizza and getting a giant, messy calzone you never asked for. Another example, the Korean War. It was like ordering a small pizza and getting a giant, messy calzone you never asked for. Another example, the Korean War. While not a complete failure, it didn't exactly result in a clear victory for the domino theory. While not a complete failure, it didn't exactly result in a clear victory for the domino theory. These events showed that predicting which way a country would fall was more complicated than just looking at its neighbors. These events showed that predicting which way a country would fall was more complicated than just looking at its neighbors. It was like trying to predict what toppings someone would order based on their astrological sign. It was like trying to predict what toppings someone would order based on their astrological sign. The domino theory, much like the pineapple on pizza debate, remains a topic of heated discussion and differing opinions. Wrong address, wrong outcome. Pizza delivery fiascos. Now, let's talk pizza delivery gone wrong. We've all been there. You wait, starving for your cheesy salvation. Then, disaster strikes. The delivery guy shows up at the wrong address. Or worse, you get the wrong order entirely. It's a frustrating experience, much like the domino theory's miscalculations. There's a certain absurdity to it all. The sheer randomness of a delivery driver ending up at the wrong place mirrors the unpredictable nature of international relations. Just like you can't always predict if your pizza will arrive on time and with the correct toppings, the domino theory learned that forcing outcomes in complex geopolitical situations is a recipe for disappointment. From domino theory to Domino's pizza tracker, learning from mistakes. The domino theory, like a burnt pizza crust, is a reminder that even the best laid plans can go wrong. It highlights the dangers of simplistic thinking in a complex world. But hey, at least we can learn from our mistakes, right? Just like Domino's Pizza introduced a tracker so you can follow your order's every move, perhaps we can apply more nuanced and adaptable strategies to international relations. Instead of assuming countries are dominoes waiting to fall, we should treat them as the unique and complex entities they are. We should prioritize understanding their specific needs and aspirations. Each country has its own history, culture, and set of circumstances that shape its actions and policies. Because just like a successful pizza delivery requires the right address and the customer's preferred toppings, a one-size-fits-all approach rarely works in diplomacy. Achieving positive outcomes in foreign policy requires respect, understanding, and a healthy dose of cultural sensitivity. By embracing these principles, we can foster better international relationships and create a more harmonious world. In conclusion, sometimes life just doesn't deliver, but hey, at least we have pizza. The domino theory, with its overly simplistic approach, ended up as a cautionary tale in the annals of US foreign policy. It's a reminder that the world is a messy, unpredictable place, much like the chaotic journey of a pizza delivery on a Friday night. But hey, even when life throws us curveballs,